Found a wreck in the alley, just a piece of junk. But my mind could see the beauty, it was ready to funk. Old tires and scrap metal, they don't know the score. With a twist of invention, we'll open the door, turning waste into wonder. It's an art we know, like a jazz riff flowing smooth, watch it grow. We're the magicians of trash, here to break the mold. At 12 odd vidwits, we're turning garbage into gold.
I was given a bunch of junk to basically recycle, so before it goes out I figured I would give some of this stuff a check over and see if it does anything. This is a Lenovo computer, probably completely dead. Oh, it lights up. Let's see if it boots up. Maybe it just has an old OS on it and it's being recycled for that, but let's see if this thing turns on. Probably not, and it's probably going to head straight to recycling. The power brick's probably the only thing worth keeping. It's probably had the hard drive pulled on it, or maybe that's the problem, but I don't hear any fans or anything coming on, so this one I think is just going to go straight to recycling. Before I recycle this unit, I want to see if there's anything in here that's of any value, such as a hard drive. Not that it's probably not that big, if there's even one in here, but there's a good chance it's been pulled. 11th year, 10th month, 27th. So it's pretty old, this unit. Oops. What screws am I taking out? I'm taking out the wrong ones. Say this is just a, let's see what's in here. And is there anything any good that's in here? Any goodies? Any hard drives that I can utilize for anything? Or has somebody already grabbed it? Looks like somebody's already grabbed it, yeah. Hard drive's missing. Memory's been pulled. Wi-Fi card's been pulled. Yeah, this is, that's why it's already been gutted, you know. Guy gives it to me and says, here, you want some stuff that I'm recycling? Well, that's exactly what I'm going to do. I'm going to recycle it as well. It's got the little old clock backup battery here. I'm sure it's probably dead. From 2011. I'm sure that one's toast. Anyway, this is, I'll keep the power adapter. Might come in useful. The rest of this gets trashed. Let's look at the rest of the stuff. Since I got given a couple bags of junk that I didn't really want. People dumped their stuff off with me saying, here, you want this? Here, you can have this stuff that I'm getting rid of. Well, if it's stuff that's not ever going to work again because I've already ripped parts out of it, what the hell do I want it for? Now I just have to, now I have to take this to the recycling center. No good to me. Whoops. No good to me. What else can I break on this thing? Oh, what's this? Stuff falling out of the side of it? Is that a drive? DVD drive? looks like I broke the DVD drive. I'm sure it doesn't work anyway. Next is a Pioneer DVD recorder that came from Value Village that he spent 25 bucks on, it looks like, and it came to me with the top off it, so chances are this is also nobody good. But we'll power it up and see what happens. But a good chance that since it's already been into, it's probably beyond repair. I'll apply power. Yeah, like there's no power. Oh, it does have power actually. I just hit the power button and it says power on. Well, let's just plug it into a TV and see what happens. See if it'll read a disc. Let's just see if it'll open. That part opens. And it displays close on the screen. No disc, so it's not reading a disc. Well, okay, let's see whether it reads anything off the hard drive. Switch it to the hard drive and see if there's anything going to come up on that. Oh, it's got stuff recorded on it. Interesting. It's got stuff recorded off TV. But, oh, analog TV, we just loved this. This is why analog TV was so good. And I'm being sarcastic. We had to put up with crappy reception like that. That's analog TV. Yeah, okay, the signal was weak, you could still see it, but you know, digital TV, there'd be nothing there. It was either perfect or nothing. But a lot of people had to put up with that type of reception on analog because, you know, the signal just wasn't that strong and you just had to put up with it. So the hard drive works on this. I don't have a remote. What does function do? Wonder if I can select the programs. Stop. Will it let me select the programs on here? I don't think so. Without the remote, you're kind of screwed. Maybe a universal remote will work. Probably not. This kind of almost looks a bit like a Sony. I wonder if my Sony remote will work this, because the Sony units, some of them were made by Pioneer or vice versa. I'm gonna grab my Sony DVD remote and see if that'll work this thing. That'd be interesting if it will. We know the hard drive part works. Okay, I figured out how to work this thing. If you press the function button, you can cycle through play, step, title, chapter. So if I go to title, how many titles are on here? Oh, title 6, 4. So I can select them all with this knob. There's, how many titles are on here? I'm just trying to figure this out. Okay, that's something. So I can select through all the different titles that are on here. Oh, there's tons of them. How much stuff's on here? There's 25 titles on this thing. So I can select the programs. I don't know how I would go about erasing them. Title, chapter, play, step, play. What does that do? Forward scan. Forward scan 3, 4, all the different scan speeds here. Step. It's telling me on the screen here what it's doing. I'm just wondering if there's a way to erase. If I could erase tracks, I can record it because there's a record button on here. If I could erase the tracks, that would be great. Slow, step, title, chapter, line input, line 1, line 2, and DV. Okay. Record mode. Oh, different speeds. We can change that too. That's cool. Title. Channel. Oh, that's kind of neat. Oh, this is a. They've been doing some drain inspection with a camera. This one has a pretty old drive on it. It's an IDE drive. Unplug it. I'm just going to pull the top off it. Somebody's already been in here. This has already been out before, you see. They're going to pull the drive and see what's going on with the laser on it. I doubt that it's going to be fixable. Again, it was given to me, so I'm not about to spend a lot of time on this thing. Let's see if I can get it out of here first of all. Looks like the bracket's held in place here by a couple screws. There we go. Drive comes out just like that. I want to pop the drive apart. It's already been into. So the chances of this thing ever working are very, very slim. But hey, we get to take it apart, right? Top should pop off of this as well. Oh yeah, one screw on the top. ...2003 is when this one's from. I guess all the DVD recorders are probably about that long in the tooth now, because I forget what year they stopped making them, but they stopped making them a while back. So they're all pretty long in the tooth. I want to see what happens when I load a disc. Does it try to spin? Does it try? I don't know what it's doing. So let's just we'll put the. I don't need to worry about that connector. I just need the power cable. So we'll put the power on and the IDE connector on it and see what it does, whether it tries to spin. Close. Let's see if the laser is coming on. I do see a laser. We can open the top here so that we can observe it together. And one might wonder why I'm taking this stuff apart when I've got a couple of units sitting here waiting to be repaired. When people bring me stuff that they're throwing out, recycled stuff that I really don't need or don't want, I try to get a look at that quickly so that I can get rid of it if it is truly beyond repair, so that I can turf it quickly. So I'll look at this stuff sometimes ahead of paid repairs, just so that I can get it out of here. Magnet holds the disc in place. I can open, close. See the lasers coming on. It's either it's not focusing, or the motor is bad, or the laser. It's probably the laser that's bad. More than likely it's the laser that's bad on this one. One thing I did not see that I expected to was to see the unit kick though. Like, it's not moving home. Is that why it's not reading? It's not moving home. Like, normally the pickup would move back, right? If it was away from home, it would normally move home to read. I don't think this one has a switch on it. Some of them had a little switch that got detected when it was in the home position. I don't know that this one has one. Now, I had this thing move just once. Just the first time I just tried this. Missed it on camera. It did move. But now it's not. But it still didn't spin. But it did move when I powered it up. I had it powered down. And it moved. There, you see, it just moved. But it's still not reading. So it is able to move the pickup, but it's not reading. It's probably the pickup that's bad. For shits and giggles, let's just try a different drive and see whether it'll read from that. This is just a standard A-open DVD IDE drive. Something's doing something. It's loading. Is it going to read? I don't think it's going to. It won't work. It won't have the right firmware on it, but it's trying to load something. I can see the light flashing on it. Oh, no way. No way. Is it? No. There's no effing way that a open drive is going to read on this thing. And that's the disc. The head's clogged on the DV tape at the beginning. No way. This drive also came from the same place, $3.99 he bought the drive for. It's working in the Pioneer. Can I skip ahead? I can scan. Back to play. Will it open? If I open it? It says open. Oh, it opens. What the hell? It works. Unbelievable. Look. That drive works. I was definitely not expecting that. That this Pioneer, what model is this thing? DVR 510. It just uses a standard IDE DVD drive. I was totally not expecting that. I was not expecting that. I was expecting that it was going to be proprietary software, proprietary firmware, but there it is. You know what we got to try, right? We got to try making a recording on this drive. We'll get a blank disc. I'm just going to use a DVD-R. I will sacrifice a disc. I know I won't be able to finalize it unless I can find a remote that will let me finalize it. But you know what? We have to find out whether this is a recorder. This is a DVD burner. So we have to find out whether this is going to record. And there's only one way to find out, and that's to try to make a recording. Got a brand new DVD-R TDK disc. One of about 550 that I bought for 20 bucks. Yes, somebody actually sold me 550 blank DVD-R discs for 20 bucks. Not complaining about that, that's for sure. I'll record this at the highest quality speed and just fill the disc up if it will actually. It says repairing disc. What does that mean?
That means it's not going to work. Duh.
On the screen it says repairing disc and it says repair here. What does it have to repair? It's a blank disc. Is it going to make a recording, or am I making a coaster? I got this message saying cannot repair this disc. Well, what was there to repair? It was a brand new disc. Cannot record. Well, maybe that's because the firmware is no good. I probably just made a coaster out of this disc. Oh well. I mean, maybe this drive is no good either. It will play. It will play discs though. I don't see anything that's been written to the disc, so I don't think it wrote anything to the disc. But it certainly was trying to do something, that's for sure.
I may have to try another IDE writer in this and see whether this drive is bad. Maybe it will work with a generic drive. I don't know.
Got the same message, could not repair the disc, so obviously the drive is not compatible. Either that or this drive is also bad, but the fact that it reads, the drive is probably okay, I think. But it certainly cannot write to it. And that's probably got something to do with the firmware that's on the unit itself and the drive. Now, what is entirely possible is it is entirely possible that this drive it may have a writing problem as well. Right? It certainly can read a disc okay, but it may have a write problem, and that's why the drive was disposed of in the first place. After all, it came from Value Village, which means somebody turned it in, and it could have been likely turned in because it didn't work. Who knows, right? But I guess the only way to find out if this drive is any good is to plug it into an old computer that has an EIDE interface. Back to the original drive that's no good. I like this warning. This product contains lead in solder and certain electrical parts. Contain chemicals which are known to the state of California to cause cancer, birth defects, and other reproductive harm. Health and Safety Code Section 25249.6. Proposition 65. Hard to read that one. Anyway, right on the board, you gotta print that. Warning from the state of California. I thought that was interesting. But yeah, this one here, obviously the drive is bad on this. The lasers. I mean, you see both the laser, both the red and the infrared laser come on. And it's not spinning. So, I mean, it could be the motor. Because if it tries to focus and then tries to spin and it doesn't spin, it would say no disc. But it's not attempting to spin, but It could be the laser's not detecting the returning light, or the drive IC that drives the motor is no good. Anyway, the drive itself is shot. Of course, something worth keeping out of this is obviously the belt, because you never know when a little belt is going to come in handy. So every time I scrap an old drive like this, I try to harvest the belts out of them, if nothing else. We're into a heat wave this weekend. I'm not working today at my regular job, but I am back tomorrow. And it's going to get even hotter tomorrow, which is going to be wonderful. They're saying 30 degrees. And with the humididex, it'll be probably closer to 33 or 34 with the humidity. It's going to be a warm one tomorrow. I got the AC going here in the shop. It's not doing much. It's taking the edge off the heat. Normally it would be unbearable in here by now, because the workshop is there's insulation in the walls, but there's no insulation in the ceiling because there's an attic above me. So they didn't bother to insulate the garage. They put insulation in the walls. The exterior walls are insulated, and the interior walls into the house are insulated, but they didn't put any in the attic space above me. So it's blistering hot in here. You know, when these were used as a computer drive, they had a fan on here, and there's a little vent in the back for a fan, but the version that they used for the DVD recorder, they omitted the fan, probably to keep the noise down. There is a fan on the back of the unit itself, but normally these drives had a little fan on them as well to keep the, to suck the heat out of here. So I guess you learned something new. They just decided that they didn't need it for this particular model. We've got a couple of other DVD recorders in this collection. We'll look at them as well, just so that I can condemn the condemnable and see if we can get the ones that aren't condemnable fixed. That one there is now back together as far as I got it, because it didn't have screws in it. And I guess this is just a parts unit, but I do have another one here to look at. So let's take a look at the next one that's probably headed for recycling just as quickly as it arrived here, because I don't have room to keep around a bunch of this crap that's not repairable, right? But let's take a look at the next one that came from, I'm sure it came from Value Village too. Here's another Pioneer DVD recorder. Looks like the hard drive's already been stolen out of this one. I wonder if the drive is the same as the other one. Because the hard drive's been stolen out of this one. This one's probably not even going to boot up. But, let's see what happens when I plug it in. Definitely not going to work. I don't even think the DVD drive will boot up without the hard drive. Pretty sure that was a requirement for these, is they had their hard drive intact. As expected, when I tried to power this up, it comes up with a hard drive error. Really? Because there's no hard drive installed. That would explain why there's an error. I do have an IDE drive here. I don't know if it'll work in it or not, but I mean, I could plug it in. It doesn't even open it. Oh, it does open the tray. Let's just see whether a disc will play on this and see whether the DVD drive works. This is a totally different drive than the other one. What I'm curious is, does the drive work? Seems like it's spinning up. And can I put a hard drive in this thing? Looks like the DVD drive works. Play. Yes, the DVD drive works on this one. There's the disc playing. Okay, well that part works. Let's just see if a hard drive. I've got some hard drives kicking around here. Let's just see if an IDE drive will actually work in this thing. So I'll power it off and I'll go grab an IDE drive and see if it'll format it. I think this is probably the drive that came out of it. It looks like the drive that may have come out of it. The fellow that brought me this, he brought me some broken hard drives as well. So maybe he's already tried to swap drives. But let's just put the original drive back in. I think this, I'm pretty sure this is the original drive, because it's mounted in a bracket that looks like it would screw down right there. So let's just plug this drive back in the way it was and see whether it boots up. There's the drive plugged in, and I'll just kind of leave it set up here and where it won't touch anything, and we'll power it up and see whether it boots up. The guy that gave me this obviously is a tinkerer. He tinkers with electronics. I brought 2 other hard drives along with it as well, whether they're any good or not. 80 gig, 320 gig. I guess we'll find out pretty quick whether this thing's gonna do anything. I'm just gonna make a recording on here, and we'll record to see if it tries to make a recording. It looks like it's trying to play something on the hard drive that doesn't exist, but we'll just try making a recording for a second here. Okay, stop it. It said it was recording. Let's see if it plays back. So this is what I was recording. Let's hit play. Hey, it records. The hard drive works. Cool. Now it's got to find a remote that will work it. This one might be a winner chicken dinner. Holy crap. Well, let's just mount this drive back in here. Get the power off now. Put the drive back where I think it belongs, and I'll find some screws and throw some screws in there. I'm going to try to find a remote that might work this. I'll flick through my box of remotes, and maybe my universal, my Harmony, I might be able to load codes for this and see if it will control it, because it won't do anything without the remote. But we'll try that. Maybe I've got a winner here. That would be nice if I got a winner. Winner chicken dinner, as they say. Well, I guess this is going to be another one that has to get recycled, unless I can find a remote control. If somebody's got a remote control for one of these they want to send me, it's a DVR 543N. DVR 543N. If somebody's got a remote control that they don't need and they want to ship it my way, maybe we can see if this thing will actually work. But I don't have a remote for it. I just went to try to add it to my Harmony remote, and I got a message from Harmony telling me that as of May 28th of this year, they are no longer supporting any existing Harmony remotes. I've got a Harmony 880. It's one of the ones on the list. There's a huge list. They give you the song and dance saying that after 10 years of dedicated support, they've made the difficult decision to no longer support, and say how sorry they are and how we can continue to use our remote controls for devices that they're already programmed for, but we are not able to create or modify any existing accounts, and that includes updating to any new equipment. So anybody who's got a Harmony, mine's programmed for a bunch of units that I've got, but unfortunately no Pioneers. I can continue to use it for those, but I can't add anything new to it. So basically, it's a bookmark now. It's junk. Now, unfortunately, even though it was software that was on the computer, it still had to reach out to Harmony to get the codes, and they no longer have them. They've deleted them all, and that is that. So this one here also becomes basically a doorstop unless I can find a remote for it. I won't toss this one just yet because it works, but without the remote, I can't really do anything. I can play and I can record. I can't select the recordings. It only plays the most recent one. I guess it would probably play them all in order because there's nothing really recorded on here. I can't do anything else other than I can't do anything. I can't do anything with this thing. Can't format a disc. Can't finalize a disc. Can't do anything without the remote, which makes it useless. So this one will go into storage. I'd say I won't toss this one just yet because I know this unit is kind of functional. I just got to find a remote for it. Good luck with that, right? No, I'm not going to go and buy a remote for it. I don't want a remote that bad. Even if it was a $5 remote, I'd probably throw the thing out. But if someone's got a remote that they don't want, send it my way and we'll see if this thing works. Here's a third DVD recorder that came in the same collection of stuff to be recycled. This one came from Value Village as well, it looks like. The guy paid $10.50 for it. But again, no remote control. And that's the real problem I have with places like Value Village. They're a bunch of morons, okay? Bunch of morons. Someone brings something in and donates it. And they bring it in with the remote and they donate it. Because, people just donate stuff that they're getting rid of. And what are those jokers at the Value Village and all these other places do? Well, they separate everything. Someone could donate it with the remote control and the power cables and everything else. And what do? The power cables get all bundled at like $1 a piece, put on the shelf. The remote controls get sold at like $5 a piece. and the unit goes out at 10 bucks a piece. Rather than having the remote that came in with it and sell it with the remote, they put the remote on the shelf. So you go in there looking and you find, oh, I found this machine, and you go looking for the remote, but it's not there because somebody else has already bought the remote thinking it's for their DVD player or something, and the remote's gone. And of course you can't get a remote, you can't do anything without the remote, so the units themselves might be in perfect working condition, but without the remote control, you're screwed. They're useless. Let's see if this one even turns on. Looks like it turns on. It says hello. I bet it works, but again, without the remote control, we're not doing much with it. But let's just try it and see. This one has a hard drive in it too, so this is another HDD type of recorder with a hard drive and a DVD drive, and without the remote control, it's going to be useless. Cool, my Zenith, which is LG DVD remote control, will control, well, at least it'll let me change the channel. I just entered the channel on here, and it has a mono tuner in it. So that that's interesting. Does not have a stereo tuner in this. It only records mono from the cable, but there is a picture there. Now I'm wondering if I can play anything that's on here. Play. There's a disc that's in here too. There is a disc in here. I don't know how I can select it though. It's going to try to play from the hard drive. Actually, it is playing from the hard drive. There's something on the hard drive. I wonder what it is. See, the tuner works. Now if I press play, there is something recorded on here. What is on here? What is on the hard drive? I think it's porn. We have to stop this pretty quick. I think this is porn that's on this drive, on this DVD recorder that was sold at Value Village. It is porn! Holy crap! Of course, with no buttons on the front other than play and record, there's not really any way to stop it without the remote control. Now, this remote control will control some of the features on here. I wonder if I can get onto the DVD side of things. I press DVD menu, what happens? Nothing. It gives me the title list of the hard drive. How do I switch to the drive? I don't know if I can switch to the drive. There is a DVD in it too. It came with a disc called Crossing Over that was in the drive, so someone forgot that there was a movie in the player when they got rid of it. You know, this was probably in someone's place, and when they were cleaning out, they just donated it to Value Village and didn't bother to check to see if there was anything recorded on it. And, well, there's a disc in it. There's porn recorded on the hard drive. Just one title. I don't know even if I can delete it from the remote here. But this machine appears to be functional. I just got to get a remote for it. I think I have a LG recorder learned on my Harmony that I learned from before that might work it. I'm seeing if any of the buttons on here will do anything. Probably not. None of these buttons here are doing anything other than showing a circle with a slash through it in red, meaning that feature doesn't work. Title brings up nothing. Menu. What brought top menu? Top disc menu brought up the tracks on here. I wonder what happens if I just press record. Will it record my cameras? Yeah, it's recording to the hard drive. My cameras are recording now. So we'll be able to play them back, I'm sure. I'm going to try. Stop it. Recording file information. Let's see if I can play it. Disc menu. There's the two titles. That one's the porn. This is the 14 seconds I recorded. I'll see if I can play this one back. Oh, good. It has delete and dubbing. Yeah, that part works. Stop it. And I'll go back to top menu, select it, and see what happens if I can delete it. Title 2 is deleted. Okay, so that got deleted.
I'm not having a very good day today. I was sent a new little 249-gram drone to test, and I was testing it, and it flew away. Like it just flew away. The wind caught it, and it's gone.
You can categorize your movies by folder. Since I already happen to have one of these units identical that I got a while back, it's an LRH880, and I just so happen that I've already programmed that. So I've got the remote codes, and I can select let's see if I can select on how this thing works. Whoops. That opened it. Unknown disk. I'm trying to play. There's a pre-recorded disc that's in there. I'm just trying to see if it'll play. See whether the drive actually works. We know the hard drive works, but does the DVD drive also work? That other file that's on there, that porn file, appears to have been recorded in 2012, according to the date stamp that's on it.
But not only did I lose my drone, I lost a 128 gig SD card that I put in it to make recordings on. I'm not happy.
But this unit appears to be having some issues even reading the disk. And this is not a burned disk, this is a store-bought disk that was in the machine. But it looks like it's having issues. Unknown disk. Yeah, so the drive itself has got a problem too. The disk is not damaged in any way. As you can see, the disk is fine. But this drive also appears to have problems. I wonder if we can make this one work. Let's try. Let's try to make this one work. Because at least I have a remote control that this one can be controlled with. A useless remote that what's on there is what's on there. I can't add anything more to it now. That kind of sucks, you know. You hate it when companies pull that crap. Who do they think they are? Microsoft? Or Apple? Here's the inside of it. It has a Hitachi hard drive in it, 80 gig. The DVD drive over here. I just want to see whether I can clean the lens or something on here, because I don't know if this drive's going to work or not, but we'll try, see whether I can clean it and get anything to happen. I think this front face should pop off on this one. See, if all this crap hadn't shown up today, I would have had something to work on. I got a couple things sitting here that I do need to get to.
Now, my drone, I did get some footage. I put it up around my house and took it up for about 10 minutes or so, and got some great footage, and actually copied the files over to the computer, so I got the 4K files. I was doing a second flight, and took it to another location to do a second flight, and I wasn't that high, because I did go up high, and I got some great shots, and I got them backed up on my phone only at 720p, so I don't have the 4K, but I get the backup. And I brought it back. I thought I'll just fly it around here a bit before I land it. I wasn't all that high, and all of a sudden it started moving, and I could, even though it's got GPS on it, the wind picked up to the point where it couldn't fly fast enough back to me, and the last I saw it went up into a tree. So it's in a tree with my SD card in it.
Nasty capacitors on it. What do you bet that they're the fault?
We'll look at the footage
that they are
when I do the video.
Of course, the plug doesn't want to unplug,
including its last flight. Well, that's a bummer. And then on top of that, I'm looking for it, and the park ranger comes out and he gives me shit saying you're not allowed to fly a drone near the park. I was like, really? Where's the sign saying I can't fly it? He says, you can't fly a drone anywhere in the park. I said, where's the sign telling me that? How do I know that? I'm
curious as to whether the laser itself is dusty. It doesn't look to be too dusty. We'll clean it off. It doesn't look to be too dusty, but it does have a bunch of surface mounted caps in here that are probably past their prime, and that's probably why it's not reading. But I'm going to just dust off the lens and see whether it'll read anything at this point. See if we get any type of response. It looks like the way this thing is configured, the hard drive is actually connected to here. This connects to the main board and this connects to the hard drive. So this has got the hard drive controller in the actual optical drive. Interesting design. We'll try cleaning the lens and see if it reads a disc. If not, I'm going to give up on this because it's not worth fixing. This isn't going to do anything, but we'll just go through the motions and see whether maybe grease the rails a bit. They're kind of a bit stiff. Yeah, that's pretty stiff. I'm going to get some grease. I'll put some grease in here. How do I open this thing up? Just turn the main belt there a bit to open this up. There we go. We're going to grease this gear over here because this is quite stiff turning. I don't think that's the fault, but we'll throw a bit of grease on here just in case it's sticking. And this one does have a little switch down here as well that tells it when it's at the home position. So sometimes these switches just get gummed up. And we need to give them a shot of cleaner, which we can do. And then end up with it everywhere else inside the unit. You know, if it hadn't been for that air conditioner that was sent to me courtesy of Drio last year, I got a Drio fan with a heater sitting beside me in fan mode now, and I got the Drio air conditioner going in the shop, and I got 2 more Drio fans inside the house, which we use all the time, giving them a plug. Because they sent me these great fans and this air conditioner that's just fantastic out here. If it hadn't been for the AC out here, I wouldn't be out here now. It would just be too hot. Even with the AC on, it's still pretty warm in here, but at least it's bearable. It's only like 24 Celsius in here now, which is about 80 on the old scale, on the old American Fahrenheit scale. So it's pretty warm, but if I didn't have the AC on here, it'd probably be 35 in here, if not even hotter. So we'll just do that. That'll work that grease in, and then we'll try this thing again. Do I need to put the top on it? Probably. It wouldn't be a bad idea, but do I need to? Probably not. Plug the panel back in with its lame 4 buttons. Okay, let's just see whether this thing will do anything now. Let's plug it back in. Where we can get the power cord. Oh, we see the laser trying to focus on something. Trying to read. Laser is reading something. Unknown disk. It says unknown disk. Okay, well, maybe because the clamp isn't on properly, but it is a disc. It is a movie. I mean, maybe it'll work when I put the drive back together. It is spinning, so let's throw the drive together. Okay, I can see the disc spinning in here. Thing is it going to read the disc? I don't think so. I don't think it's going to read the disc. Unknown disc is all I get. I'll try a DVD-R and see what happens with that. I don't think it's going to read it. I think the drive is shot on this one too. Which is what's going to happen to all of these old machines that just sit around for eons. Eventually, they're all going to die the same way. And I get the same message. It says unknown disc. We just played this disc. It plays fine. I got another drive that's gone bad. It's more than likely the craps on the board. That's more than likely the failure on this one. But I don't think I'm going to bother with it, at least not today. I won't scrap this one just yet. But it's not going to be one that's going to be high on my list of priorities to do anything with, but maybe someday I'll start changing out caps if I'm really bored, and we'll see whether it is that or whether it's the laser pickup. It could be the laser itself as well, right? In fact, there's a good chance that is the problem, is the laser itself is shot. But I'm going to leave it at that. This is the last of the three pieces of junk that were brought to me, as not to look at, just as here's something for you to tear down on your channel. I've already been into it and I don't think they're fixable. But rather than me take it to the dump, I'll just give it to you and you can take it to the dump. They say you pay your money, and sometimes you get what you pay for, but many times you don't. I've gotten machines that work cheap, and there's other ones I've picked up that just don't work. And I tend to not spend more than $10 on something unknown. I've done well though. I did get a TCD5 for $10, and I got a DVD recorder that works for $10 or $7. I got another one that didn't work though, right? So, and I've picked up good old VCRs that people were throwing out, like a super VHS machine for $15. They're getting harder to find now because the people at these places, at the Value Village and so forth, they're getting wise. When they see electronics come in, they start jacking up the prices, whether they work or not. Of course, these ones all say no exchange. If it doesn't work, too bad, so sad. You lost your money. Anyway, I'm going to end it on this one, and we'll say thanks for watching. At least I know that a few of these things partially work. That one machine probably works fine. That one Pioneer probably works, although I won't know unless I find a remote control. Although I do know someone who's got a remote, so maybe he'll loan me a remote, or maybe he's got a spare. That'd be nice to find out whether the Pioneer actually will do everything. But without the remote, we're never gonna know. Anyway, thanks for watching. Bye.